Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Laws of Attraction, Book 2, Chapter 3. So, this was an interesting chapter, and we have a lot to talk about, so let's buckle up. Alright, so from the last chapter, we knew that a shocking hammer just dropped on our head. We had a very steamy night with Joe Queen, and now he is being presented by Martin as his new hire. So, and also Bo and Gigi, they make comments like, wasn't that the guy who was flirting with our main character the last night? So basically, I thought, and everybody thought, that Joe Queen would be, he's Martin's hire, so he's gonna be fine like him. So we get to learn a lot about Joe Queen. So he is basically sniffing money, and he was in a lot reputed firm, but he basically went. He came here and didn't work for that anymore because I think more than money, he likes to sniff challenges and that. But also the thing that we thought he's Martin's hire, he's just gonna be like Martin. But here's a prediction by me: Joe Queen actually is gonna be one of the interesting characters of this book. I think he will work against Martin when the time comes. Because Martin makes a comment, so we will have to hire another person, and Martin will have his competition, and we'll give Gabe and our main character a chance to appoint someone, and we'll say we are also going to look anyone who is not from any Ivy school. Martin focused on the fact that we should be looking into Ivy school and that, and then he asks Joe Queen to back him up on some front, but Joe Queen maintains his neutrality. So this is something. Like, he's a wild card. I think this is really interesting. Like, he's not that bad kind of character. Like, he just had a one night stand, and then you're gonna be like frenemy, or like mostly an enemy, like something like Poppy. I don't think Joe Queen is like that. I think there's more to Joe Queen than meets the eye. So that over. So the whole chapter's motive would be to find a new hire for our main character, and Gabe to put against Martin and strengthen our case. So basically what happens here is that also we see about Ashlyn passes us, and there's a look of longing in her eyes because Martin, she just got off the case. Martin kept her hooked up for a while, but now Martin is as if like Martin's supervising Ashlyn super hard, like doesn't want to leave Ashlyn for a second, like as if main character and Ashlyn with Gabe, they will just cook some recipe that would be a disastrous recipe for Martin. For whatever reason, our lives are at this point basically miserable because of Martin. So we will have to interview, and we shortlist three candidates, and we go to the library. We just sniff in the old books and have a nostalgic conversation with Gabe about the coffee smell of old study sessions of Gabe and stuff. And then we interview two hires. First one is a little off, like doesn't want to dress properly, this, that. But the second one, Lucy, I believe her name is, and she was the perfect one. She's also fighting for child adoption rights and all these stuff, and she really knows what she does, and she has a connection with this place. And after the interview is over, she says that she's also got an offer from Martin and Codot, so we really need to hire her. So Gabe will tell us that she's waiting outside, we need to make a decision. And I hated that this was a diamond option. Like, what? Like, this is like really pity diamond scene, I would say. This is one of the worst diamond scenes in Choices history, because why do we need to spend diamond to hire someone like that? There could have been some other factors, like making the right choices, like I don't know, like maybe asking them the right questions that would determine like whether they would stay or not, or something like that, like pointing score or something, anything. But diamonds, I think that's I just don't think that's right, because if you don't have diamonds, then Martin's gonna win. That's anyway. Then we see that we hire, if you spend the diamonds, you hire Lucy, and this is a good addition to your team. And then Gabe takes you out the night of New York night out in the outside, and we say that did he win dinner in some fancy Chinese restaurant. Remember the one we went last time? But this time, he took us to a local, sort of like a truck vendor. So we also eat there. Gabe seems to know him, and Gabe shares all sorts of stories like why he knows everybody, how it is important to know everybody as a law practitioner, and all this stuff. We talk with Gabe, and also he talks about a club that is basically Latin, stands for Law and Order, and I can't be bothered to remember what that was. So Gabe says that this is only invitation only club, and you can go there. It will make or break your career. So it could be a really good addition for us. And Gabe wants to introduce to that place, and we can go there in this diamond scene, and we can make allies that will go for really long down the line for this book. And then we go there, so in an alley. So this is pretty discreet, and discretion is the key, as Gabe says again and again. We see all the people there, the judges and everyone, and we meet a guy who really introduces us to everything without taking us there to that person. Gabe was also there, so we learned a lot of things. That there was one guy who is for voting rights on the TV and everything, but in reality, he's doing something that is really obscuring the voting rights. So talk about a double fist witch. And then he also seemed very interested about one of the judges' bedroom habits. It's a pretty funny chapter there. We learn a lot of things, and we also ask about Joe Queen. I personally ask that what can we expect from him, and then we just take everything in, drink in hand. Just take all this. Invitation only, really elite New York's something like a lawyer club, like pro lawyers or something. So this is pretty interesting. And the password was Law and Order, the show's character Stabler. So I got that wrong. I chose Olivia Benson because I didn't really know that. It's not something I really watch. I do know what it is. I have watched some like clips and stuff, but not like know everything inside and out. So then we can have a steamy scene with Gabe, and then the next day it's time for the higher interviews and everything. So we go there first, and we see Lucy's there, confident as ever, and I can tell Lucy to be confident, and this will increase some points. Linda and Reggie are all already there, and they're impressed by our choice so far. And then comes Martin with his Ivy hire, and then comes if I'm forgetting, Ellie with his choice, and as we will know, that is basically his brother's son. Keeps calling him uncle, and he was a funny character. Like Martin's pick and our pick, they were really there, but he was like lost in his own world, looking outside, and it was funny, hilarious. And at the end, when he walks out of the room, he says that basically what happens. I'm gonna come to that later. So they get asked some questions, and remember the vaccine case we solved last year. So they ask him. Linda asks them, the new hires who are fighting for the new hire position, about that case, like what they should be doing. So Martin's candidate answered it in a hypothetical way, not really accurate, but our candidate nails it, and then, well, that's a victory. Martin wasn't able to basically accept it, and his hire went wacko. But then she just storms out of the room, and then Ellie's nephew says like, "Uncle, can you please tell my dad that as she went out, that I at least came second?" And then Ellie says, "Oh, I'll tell your dad that you were in your element, and he will exactly know what I mean." So that was, I mean, that's just probably that, like, like, compare this book, compare the plot, compare everything. This particular moment is not, it has nothing to do with anything, but just this is choices. Like, this is why I love, like, when they do things like that, like, so small things, but it will crack you up. And then we get our pick. Everybody, our Gabe, our main character, we're happy, and Martin's furious. And then everybody leaves. They're about to leave. Martin stops us, and basically, I don't know. He gives us his ultimatum. He's like, "Oh, you try." And he gets all snarly, like, "Oh, you are showing me down in front of everyone. This is the last time." I don't know what he means. Like, is he going to fire us? Is he going to do something with our main character? Like, basically, abandon us from Mag O'Brien? I really don't know. But we have a press conference coming in the next chapter where we can basically, what we can do is basically spin the narrative of Sadie's arrest and what happened on the aftermath, and we can win the media power and we can potentially do something. But what, we will learn in the next chapter. So let me know guys what your thoughts and opinions are on this chapter, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, peace out.